So, and I got it wrong in the early days. And I remember we had meetings, and I still remember this, where I got my attitude wrong. And somebody pulled me to one side and said, you're not going to get the best out of people if you talk to us like that.
Explain that a little bit more. So
there was a particular day where we brought in a real good friend of mine now, and we hadn't really known each other, and they'd come up with some ideas that I didn't particularly, for whatever reason, maybe I was tired, maybe I was in a bad mood. I just kind of shot them down and went, no, I don't particularly like them. Can we do something else?
Yeah.
And it made them feel like their hours of work has just been put. And I'm also like, why are we going to keep rooting for this guy if this is... Whereas actually, and that was my own immaturity, definitely. Whereas actually what I should have said was, every idea is yes and. So even if I don't like something, let's say you came up with a magic trick. I'm looking at a sofa, and you said, yes. You said, let's do a magic trick with this happens on a sofa. Even if I think that's a ridiculous idea, I can reframe it of going, yes, I like the idea of using furniture, but what if it wasn't a sofa? What if it was a table? And then somebody else might go, oh, what if it was a ladder? What if it was... All of a sudden, we've bypassed your idea, but you still feel included and positive. And that's how we create this yes and culture.
Wow.
So those two things. Don't overfilter your ideas straight away. Just get it all down on paper.
Yeah.
Don't worry if it's a good or bad idea. Create a yes and culture, and then filter and edit in a separate session.
That process of... I mean, you did 3 seasons of the show, didn't you? I mean, it seems like a lot of work goes into those shows.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily... I mean, they do look somewhat effortless in many ways. How hard did you find those shows? Were they pretty easy to do for you, or was it... The creative process sounds great, but actually executing those shows...
Yeah, so that 3 weeks was always my favourite, because it was the 4 of us, and we were just in our own little world. But the whole thing takes about 6 months, start to finish.
For one series?
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is where, now let's look at social media. Me and you could make a video today, put it out tomorrow, and it could get 1 million views.
Why was it taking so long? Just for those that wouldn't
Just because TV is a slow-moving machine. Yeah. So, if you look at 3 weeks of ideas, another 2 weeks of prep, so you're into 6 or 7 weeks before you've shot anything. And then if you fast forward to the end, you're into another 5 or 6 weeks of the edit. So you're into a few months either side without just the logistical bits. So it just takes time. And there's, when there's 40 people involved, it moves slowly. Whereas this is what I do envy now, and I think where content has to shift. Me and you could pick up our phones or a camera today, go out this afternoon, and I could probably get us 15 minutes of material of that kind of quality anyway. So it's that shift. And also, as a result of that, that's why TV costs so much money to make. And that's what, so those are barriers that TV is really struggling with at the moment.